Kris Brooks, thank you for taking the time out of your busy Charlotte hiatus to come in and share your story and your message and everything you have going on. I appreciate it.
I am grateful to be here and excited.
That's what I like to hear. So for everyone who doesn't know who you are, give us a little bit of info about you and your background.
My name is Kris Brooks, and I am a yoga student and teacher, specifically to Charlotte yoga, and also student, I guess. You want me to tell you about myself regarding Charlotte, or just in general?
Wherever that leads you.
Wherever that
question
leads
leads you.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I think like the biggest part of my identity that I've created is I'm a student. I'm a student of life.
Mm-hmm.
So that being a student of life has led me to yoga, and that's probably my main attachment to my identity is that yoga.
Yeah.
Finding the balance in that healthy and unhealthy attachment is a work in progress, but yeah, that's who I am. I am a wife, I have a husband, I'm a dog mom, just a grateful person today to be here.
Love it. Where did you grow up and where were you raised?
So I spent most of my life in North Carolina. I was a military brat, and we moved around a bit, not too much, always landed back in North Carolina, but I was closer to the beach, so not in Charlotte at all. Once I left high school, I went to UNC Greensboro and did college in Greensboro, and from Greensboro, I moved to Charlotte.
And then been here ever since until moving to...
Yeah, and then been here in Charlotte, which I identify as home. Like, I think home is a space that makes you feel some type of way, right? You take home with you no matter where you are, for sure, but for me, if I had to give a physical location, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Currently, I live in Germany. I live in southeast Bavaria of Germany. It's like, it's nothing like Charlotte. It's like countryside. It's like grass and dandelions and cows, and it's so beautiful. I can't stop looking at how beautiful it is, and I never thought, look at me hitting the table, and I never thought that I would find so much beauty in such a quiet space, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's where I live now, and I'm here visiting home.
Awesome. So let's start diving into your journey.
Okay.
What initially got you involved in yoga? Do you remember your first experience and your first practice?
Oh, 100%. Well, my first experience on my own started in high school. I was like searching. I was very lost, very, 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 very lost, with not having much direction in life, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And a teenager is already going through so many different hormonal changes, and they're trying to figure things out already. But on top of that, I was dealing with a lot of other things mentally. So yoga and meditation became this outlet for me that I would do in my room on my own. I bought a book, a yoga book. It was like one of those like yoga for dummies books kind of thing. But it was this blue book with just yoga poses, and it would kind of describe meditation. That was pre-internet, or around the time of like AOL dial-up. So yeah, that we didn't have access to knowledge from our hands like we do today. So this book was all I had. But I learned to meditate, and it was like I remember one particular experience. I was raised Catholic, and we were going on a Catholic ski trip, and we were on like a charter bus or something, and I was meditating, and everyone was like, what is she doing? And it was like not something that was prominent in our culture, meditation. I had never heard anyone talking about it. I never heard of anyone doing it. I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. Now I know there's no right or wrong, but I did it, and it helped me feel at ease. So that was my initial experience. Fast forward to like the ball game in Charlotte. My first yoga class in Charlotte at the studio at Yoga One was a 6 a.m. yoga class. It kicked my ass. Like I looked at my friend that took me, and I said, I'm not doing this again. First of all, I'm never waking up at 5:30 in the morning again. Second of all, that was too hot. Like I was like so against that first experience. Why was I against it? I was against it because it made me uncomfortable.
Challenged you.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable. Like the things the teacher was saying, I was not in a good space. Okay, I was not in a good headspace, and I was being challenged, not just physically. Like the physical challenge, yeah, that was difficult, but the mental challenge was very stimulating, and I created like this barrier. Right, I was fighting that. I was really fighting that, and that made me curious to dig. What else is there? Like, why am I fighting that? Like, what is causing this reaction out of me? That inspired me to continue to go, and I did. And then my grandmother passed away. That was a big turning point for me in my life, and very, very difficult thing. And I was not handling it well at all. And one night, I was like in a really, really, really dark space. I was scaring myself. I didn't know what to do. And something just brought me to, like, I just went to Yoga 1. I pulled up to Yoga 1, not knowing if there was a class, anything. I just went one night. And the last class of the night was like going on. But the lady at the front desk looked at me and was like, give me a hug, just give me a hug. And she gave me a hug. And I was like crying to this stranger I had never met in my entire life, but she was holding space for me in a way that no one has ever held space for me before. And it was authentic and it was genuine. And it was like, what is happening right now? And this was before vulnerability was a thing for me. So I was very closed off.
Yeah.
Nobody, if I was sad, no one knew it, right? So this was a big thing for me. That's when yoga started to work for me off the mat. That moment was like it. She gave me the book, Power of Being by Baron Baptiste. She said, read this. That's all. Like, okay, I did.
I'm gonna add that to my list.
Read it, yes, any of his books. And I read it, came back. She said, you should sign up for assistant training. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do anything. I'll try it. Let's go. So I did assistant training, and it was very difficult for me because again, things were being brought up. Like Yoga 1, the thing about like the Baptiste methodology is what they do is they break you down to create breakthroughs. So what they want to do is they want to like shake you up and get all of those stories and all that crap that you've told yourself that I'm not good enough's out.
Yeah.
Get them exposed right in the open. Acknowledge them, work through it, move on.
Yeah. Peel off the layers.
Exactly.
Let it out.
I'd never done that before. I was like, a military child. So it was like, you need to suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah.
Especially as an athlete, my dad was my coach, my softball coach growing up, and he treated us like soldiers. Literally.
Yeah.
We had a good ball team, we were good ball players, right? We had a lot of respect and discipline, but it was like, suck it up, deal with it.
It didn't prepare you for some of the other stuff. Some of the other challenges, how to let loose and how to let go of some of the things that you were holding on to.
Yeah, or even how to feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to feel, okay? And vulnerability was a weakness. So when all these things started coming up, it was like, all these stories, like, I'm weak, I can't show this vulnerability because I'm, And they called me out on that. They knew what was happening, a lot of them, but like with compassion and love.
They probably have all been through it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they knew.
But in my mind at that time, no one could understand what I was going through. I was in denial of that. I wasn't seeing that. So that yoga assistant training was like life-changing, okay? Mm-hmm. At the same time, I got hired at Lululemon, okay? Yeah. Because it was like, I need to create change in my life. I was just, like I said, in a dark space, and it was like, this is not working. I'm just gonna like start manifesting things. And it all happened, kind of around the same time, so it was cool. So I worked for Lululemon.
Similar stories right now.
See? So Lululemon, interesting. I think I was the first person to get fired from Lululemon. Okay, did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got fired from Lululemon. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, because that was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I was a little bit, I'm a very authentic person. I say what I feel. There's no filter. It's gotten me in trouble in my life. It got me in trouble there. Like, that's my side of the street. All right?
Yeah.
But the main reason that I would I say get in trouble, but you know, as a situation was addressed, the main things that would be addressed with me was that I had no vulnerability. Like, they would legitimately tell me, we need to see vulnerability. Like, you have this guard, and you're not like, I don't know, like, I was still stuck. You know, this is at the beginning. But what that did was opened up the opportunity for me to step away from this stuff that at the time was not serving me anymore, and find myself through my own practice, my own yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I was a yoga teacher before I got fired from Lululemon. So I worked for Lululemon for a long time. I love the company. That company did so much for me and continues to. Like, and now I'm actively involved as a community member with Lululemon, and it's like crazy to see, like, you know, full circle, yeah. Like, and it's funny now to share that, but that's yoga to me, right? All of that is yoga to me. Breaking down, like, learning vulnerability, getting open and honest with your own self, and seeing that it's okay not to be okay. Mm-hmm. Moving through that. So that's my yoga, like, brief history, but at least, like, how it really got started for me.
And then now we can kind of transition to all the different kind of yoga practices and people and audiences that you work with. Mm-hmm. Kind of how, like, we met when you were coaching or teaching us yoga at Hendrick Motorsports, and so kind of walk us through some of the different audiences and that you've been a part of, including some of the Hendrick or the NASCAR communities, as well as some of the other ones you're involved in.
So with athletes, I first started working with youth hockey players, and then from there I worked with the Charlotte Checkers, which is the Carolina Hurricanes AHL team. Mm-hmm. From there, I started working with Chip Ganassi Racing and Stuart Haas Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, Roush Fenway. So I started, like, this athletic mobility program where I was able to talk with the coaches, like your coach at Hendrick. I'll use Hendrick because you were, all the guys knew you were my favorite student, because, like, you showed up and you were so, like, you brought this passion, and it was very rewarding for me to see, because it's like, man, I think, like, they're appreciating that I'm here. This is working for them.
I loved Mondays. Mondays to have off, but then to have that scheduled yoga time, and I was just, I was happy to go Mondays. I was like, Monday mornings, let's go. Kris is coming in. Let's get it. I definitely felt there was some other guys had some tension in the room, and we were just like, man, what are we doing here? But, like,
I love those guys though too, because it's like, that's a challenge sometimes working with athletes. Like, I'm this small, petite little thing. I come in there and I'm like commanding, like, different things, and it's like, I get it. I get it. Like, we don't have to call it yoga, guys. We don't have to call it athletic mobility, okay? Yeah. Restoration. What do you want to call it? We can call it anything you want. But the point is, it's going to make you a better athlete. Yeah. Especially, like, you would see, I started at Hendrick, the arms would be, like, the range of motion in the shoulders, because you guys are big guys. You're all athletes. Like, most of, like, I don't know if people listening, like, NASCAR is not what the stereotype thinks it is. Maybe. If there was a stereotype, I don't believe that that's it. It's D1 athletes, it's college athletes that are being recruited to do these powerfully athletic movements while jumping in front of a moving car, right? Yeah. It's crazy what you guys, what you did, you know, what pickers do.
Awesome experience.
The athletic, like, abilities that it demands is mind-blowing to me. Yeah. So y'all are strong, but the range of motion lacks a lot. So yoga really helped that, and I loved working.
Yeah, there was guys that couldn't scratch their back.
And they're doing good now. Like, there's so much growth over the years.
They're scratching their back now. They're scratching other people's back.
Right. So much growth over the years with Hendrik. I love it. So I did that. And then I do a lot of work in recovery. So when I say recovery, I mean substance abuse and mental health recovery. So much different than recovering your muscles. This is like much deeper. And this is where my passion lies.
Yeah.
So I love working with athletes. It's fun. I love that, but my passion is in recovery. So I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for 3.5 years next week. And that life was brought to me by yoga. Yoga led me to recovery. Yoga led me to the most beautiful life I can imagine. Yoga led me to that serenity, right? That connection to myself on such a deep level that I do not need anything to alter my state of mind at all, except coffee. Okay, that's the substance, right?
Yeah.
But so as a person in recovery, I give back to others that are struggling with addiction maybe in their life, struggling with mental health, or people that have long-term sobriety. I do 12-step yoga, which is Y12SR. It's a platform, it's a program. And it combines the philosophy of yoga with the cognitive tools of 12-step recovery. So it's open to anyone and everyone. Like everyone can come, because everyone in this world has struggled with something in their life.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Everyone.
I don't care who you are.
You're not alone.
No,
yeah.
right?
Everyone's fighting something.
Everyone. Or you've had someone in your life that has struggled with something. So this is an open 12-step platform for anybody recovering from anything, okay?
Wow.
Power, ego, sex, drugs, money, alcohol, codependency, you name it, the list continues. Like, there's so many different programs. People who have had family or friends, and it just like holds space for you to really move that energy through your body and to heal what's going on, to release, the mantras, release the issues from your tissues. So.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, right? Because scientifically, we store so much trauma in our bodies.
Yeah. And I've learned that through yoga.
And you feel it through yoga, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that is. And with that, I'm a graduate student. I'm getting my master's in social work. And so as a future licensed clinical social worker, my goal and my plan is to incorporate all of the holistic practices that I've been a part of in with that therapy to create more of a mindful practice of healing for anyone suffering. Right?
Gotta love that.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Other styles, general public classes, all level classes, community classes. I do a lot of philanthropy work, a lot of volunteer work, a lot of sharing this practice of yoga with anybody that will listen, because it's life-changing. Right now, my husband, he's in the Army, and the soldiers at the base that we are at, I've had the privilege of coming to their PT at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
Back to that, but I'm okay with it now. Like, I'm good with it now. And doing PT for the soldiers, because soldiers are people that undergo trauma.
Yeah.
Right?
All the time.
They undergo trauma. Whether they've been actively deployed or not, there's situations that they're faced with. There's a lot of pressures. A lot of these kids, like the younger soldiers, 18, 19, sold their lives away to the US of A and left home for the very first time and are surrounded by other people in a country they've never been to, with a culture they've never been to, with all this pressure coming from every which way, and mindfully they need a release, right? The other side of that is just like I was taught, vulnerability is a weakness. That's a common theme also.
Yeah.
Overall, the bigger picture, these guys want to prove themselves and be tough and I say guys, man, whatever, right? Open to everyone. They maybe want to be big and bad and prove themselves and stuff, and it's like, I really want to let them know that they don't have, and just, they don't have to act vulnerable around their buddies, but I want to hold space for them to be okay with not being okay. And there needs to to be more of that in this world, just in general. And yoga brings that to the table.
Yeah, I agree, because I mean, I was holding so much stuff in and not expressing myself and didn't know how to express myself. I mean, I've said it before, like, emotionally, I thought I was emotionally stable when I learned how to not cry after losing a wrestling match. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I was like, oh, I'm emotionally good now. But then it was like I was just on this flat line where nothing was affecting me, and I wasn't experiencing the highs of highs or the lows of lows either, and I didn't know. And now that I'm opening up to it, I'm like, why didn't they teach this in like elementary school or middle school? So now it's like, instead of just saying I'm mad, it's like I can get a little more in depth and be like, I'm frustrated, I'm confused, and actually pinpoint how I'm actually feeling, instead of just being this just term that I'm just throwing out there because it's something that I kind of know what I'm feeling. And so being able to have that outlet, that one, I mean, Lululemon kind of brought that out of me too, being around, having a team of 40 women and not being around NASCAR and wrestling where it was 99.9% guys, and being able to talk to them, it really opened me up, and it's wild to see the difference. Like, I mean, just seen it in myself over the past year and a half, and that's awesome that you are bringing that to attention in a place where that probably isn't something that's going to be exposed at a military base. That's, I mean, I can't imagine the amount of feedback you're probably getting in it.
Well, you know, the government, I will say, they're working on these things, right? And it is, there's more light being shined on this topic all over the world, right? Mental health, it's made Mental Health Awareness Month right now. This stuff, your mental health is directly related to how you acknowledge and feel. Like, acknowledge your feelings, accept those feelings, and how you choose to either accept or react to those feelings, right? All mental health. So the government is trying, but that's a big organization, and there are evidence-based practices that are happening, and my goal is to be a part of that research that is providing that evidence-based practice to create the change that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Right now, if I were to like go in there and be like, this is what needs to happen probably, la la la, it's unable to happen right away because it takes time. It takes time to build these
the systems in place to actually have it be like a construct in that community.
Exactly.
Like that,
But it's happening, and it's happening in schools too. Like you said, we should have been taught that. Now, I personally have friends in Charlotte that teach meditation and yoga in grade schools, and that's a beautiful thing to see. It's crazy, but you being able to switch environments. So social work works on a person and environment perspective. So your environment affects everything.
Yeah.
So who you choose to put yourself around, who you choose to connect with, the energy that you choose to put yourself in affects everything. So if you're being thrown into this new situation, you have to adapt, right? Or choose to leave if it's not working for you. But with feelings and emotions, I didn't know how to identify it. Like you said, you could say you're mad, but then dissect, are you frustrated? When I first got sober, I had been masking my feelings and emotions with things, people, places, and things for so long. I didn't know what any of that was. So I had to take it back to the basics of like a 5-year-old child with the little card with the smiley face or sad face you see at the doctor's office. And it's like, oh, this is what I'm feeling now. And yoga taught me to dig deeper into that. Like, why am I feeling this way? What physical sensation is showing up in my body? How is this reoccurring in my life? And just continue to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And now I'm like super freaking vulnerable and way too vulnerable sometimes. You know, it's like I cried last night. I taught rooftop yoga, and it was so amazing, and the love and connection that was there was unbelievable. I cried so many times while I was teaching, just out of love. You know, and that feels good to me now.
Oh, it's good to feel though.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I've probably dropped more tears in the past year and a half than I have in my first 25 years, 26 years.
See, that's beautiful.
well, maybe not. Well, take out those child
baby,
take out those baby
years
tears.
out.
Baby tears are just always going to be there.
They don't
But
count, yeah.
but like conscious tears, way more now, and it's changed. It's changed a lot, and it's helped me grow a lot. It's wild. That's awesome that you. I mean, I wanted to go so bad.
Oh,
yoga.
last night?
Yeah.
Oh man, it
I had
was
a couple
great.
things coming in, but
It happens, but you were there today.
we had a great one right before this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we kind of went over a lot of this, but what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned because of yoga and what it's taught you? Or obstacles that you've overcame through the practice of yoga?
Well, my mental health and my substance abuse challenges in my life I've overcome because of yoga. My ability to recognize myself and my story and find power in it has happened because of yoga. I'm not ashamed of any decisions I've made in my life because they've all led me to where I'm at. I was taught to love myself. Self-love is the biggest thing I've gotten from yoga. Self-love and acceptance. I used to struggle looking in the mirror. I would look in the mirror and I would get angry or I would cry. I did not like what I was seeing because I was struggling with so much inside. And now I do practices on my own meditation practices where I stand in front of the mirror and I force myself to look myself in the eye and to accept myself where I'm at when I'm there. And that's a beautiful thing. And I would not have ever learned that without yoga. I've learned tolerance of others, compassion, acceptance, just overall. I've learned a lot. I am who I am today because of yoga. Without the physical postures, I have a physical yoga practice, and that's not that's the 10% of the practice for me. It's how I apply things into my life off of my mat, and non-judgment of myself. Because if you're judging yourself, you're going to judge others. So you have to work on that self-judgment first, so you're not projecting it, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one. And then just connection, community. Charlotte, the community here is unlike nothing. I'm willing to bet there's nothing like this anywhere. I mean, there's so much community everywhere in the world, obviously, but there's something so special here. It's developing. We're in the beginning stages of the culture here in a big city for the South, right? Charlotte's a big city for where we are.
And it's growing.
It's growing.
With transplants.
It's growing so much, and people are growing, and cultures are growing, and practices are growing, and connections are growing every single day. We met how many new people today after yoga?
At least 5 or 6.
Exactly.
For me.
And not just met, but connected with. Got to know more than their name. You probably invited that guy to do some kind of workout with you, I bet.
I sure did.
See?
Yeah,
exactly.
His first yoga practice.
Okay, it was his first yoga practice today. And instead of getting discouraged, we welcomed him in with loving arms, and he felt supported, and he felt community. I never felt that my entire life until Yoga 1.
Yeah.
I was seen, right?
Yeah.
People are seen in these spaces. They feel seen and loved, and I haven't found anything like that anywhere else as strong and powerful as it is in that space.
For me, I had that, my community was disguised as a team. So my teammates were always my community. And then when I lost my teammates, I was like, what am I missing? It's like, what am I missing? And then that word community came up, and I was like, that's the ticket right there. That's what you've been seeking this whole time, is that connection, that community. And so I found that out here in Charlotte, and that's the one thing. That's what this podcast is all about. That's why I bring people from all these different realms, just because they're all doing something great out here, and I want them, and all the other places I've been, not just in Charlotte, but I want people to know that there is these people doing these awesome things out here, and you don't have to just have your work buddies and your drinking friends out here when you first move down here. calling all transplants. You don't need that. You don't need that.
Been there, done that.
It's the easiest communities to get involved in. It's like step out and do something that's going to help you better yourself and your life with other like-minded individuals. And that's what Charlotte's kind of cultivating out here. And that,
and anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
I learned that through yoga too. Anything that I envision for my life, I have done. Any goals I set, any visions I created, I did goal coaching with Lululemon. I was a goal coach. That is the biggest thing I took away from that company was that skill, right? And that passion and that love to continue to cultivate goals in my life, because I do. I just did a workshop in Frankfurt for Lululemon on goal setting.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that picture.
Oh, it was so amazing because I got to share part of my story and the struggle. And people were connected to that because a lot of times social media, like you're bringing people that are doing real things. A lot of times social media, do I have fancy yoga poses on my Instagram? Yes.
Of course.
I do,
yeah.
Right? Did I take 5 attempts to get one pose a time or two? Hell yeah. But if you read what's under the picture, it's usually some dark stuff or something I'm working through or something I'm grateful for, acknowledging that life is not perfect. Life is not my Instagram portfolio, right? People struggle and people survive that struggle and they thrive in life. And there needs to be more real people sharing that they're not perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that community, what the human species seeks is connection, right? So when we're struggling, it's from a disconnection of something. Maybe mind, maybe body, maybe spirit. Maybe you left the team that you've had for the last few years and you're lost without it, right? We can all relate to that disconnection in some kind of way. But these mindfulness practices and yoga teach us how to find that within ourselves and then branch it out into other areas, like you're mentioning doing. When I moved to Germany, God, that was the hardest decision of my life, right? It was like leave my home, my career, my friends, everything, or support my husband. And my husband decided to join the army at 28 years old because it was something he's always wanted to do with his life, and his whole life he's done things for everyone else, right? He created these high expectations based off of other people's expectations of where he needed to be or should have been. And it affected his self-worth because he wasn't meeting those expectations. And he was like doing different jobs but never feeling whole and complete in those things. So the military is something he always wanted to do and just never did it. So he made a decision probably for the first time in his life to follow through with something that he wanted to do and to believe in himself enough to actually do it. How can I not support that?
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Did I want to be involved with the military? Not at all. Did I want to leave home? Not at all. But I'm going to support something bigger than myself, and that's what he did. He's signed up for something bigger than himself, and I will support that. Being over there, what has impacted my connection is remembering that no matter where I go, there I am, very cliche, but I find that connection, ground myself where I'm at, and then it finds me, or I find it. And then the most powerful thing is I have Charlotte and everyone here I'm so connected to. Like, following up with everyone, like seeing what everyone's doing, like supporting everyone from like across the pond. Like I said, I'm in a long distance relationship with Charlotte and the people here in the community, and I love the fact that things like social media are a thing, because without it, I would not be able to be so tightly connected to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could feel that in the clapping after the practice this morning. I mean, you've cultivated that community down here, and you come back and it's still here, you know?
It's still here.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
That's a lot.
Nope.
Yeah, gotta love it. And so, what's the biggest takeaway from I want to say the Charlotte yoga fitness community out here? Like, how has that affected your well-being?
How's it affected? what's affected my well-being in a very positive way. It's back to what we were just talking about. That's connection. It created community for me. Watching people here just do stuff is so inspiring to me, okay? Like your podcast, like watching you go from like having you as one of my athletes and then watching your transition through that process and then watching you find something, okay, boom, here, you're passionate about that, like that's inspiring to me. My biggest takeaway from the Charlotte community is the inspiration I get from everybody in it. I am constantly inspired. Like, it's like, you don't just, some places you might go and there might be one yoga teacher, 2 or 3 in the whole place, you know. Here, there are hundreds. There are hundreds of yoga teachers and fitness people, coaches, you know, like whether it's boot camps or personal trainings or bar classes or whatever it is in the fitness community here in Charlotte. Everyone is doing really awesome stuff and everyone is making an impact. And I'm inspired by every single person I know here that is doing something bigger than themselves. What I'm also inspired about is watching my students grow and become like teachers. I have rooftop yoga is something I started 4 years ago. This will be our 5th season, okay? And I've taught it for the past 4 years. So this year I'm not here. And I was able to go to one of my students, Renee, that has been a student of mine for a while, and say, hey, I want you to take over rooftop. And she was like, really? Yes, really? Like, she assisted every single class I taught last year. Yes, really? Please, like, do it. Because you're comfortable in that space, and I want you to. And then, how about this? Let's create a teacher rotation of teachers. And I looked, when I made the rotation list, I picked all new teachers. Like, brand new out of teacher training. Why? Because that's an opportunity they deserve to have. Like, go big. Step onto that rooftop in Uptown Charlotte with 100+ students and teach a class because you can. Because you're awesome and you deserve it. And you're gonna inspire someone else that's in the crowd watching you do that. And if you're nervous, good. You should be nervous. And you should speak about being nervous. Because then you're gonna tell someone else that it's okay. You're nervous, but guess what? You're here. And like, that's what's inspiring me about this community. Connection. The ripple effect of connection. And I'm so excited. I'm taking rooftop class next week. It's my birthday. I'll be there practicing because I extended my trip. And I can't wait to be on the other side of that and to watch and be inspired by my students who are now my teachers.
What time is that at? 6:30?
6:30.
6:30. I'm gonna try to make that one too. If you knew Kris, you would know what?
Oh. Like if you knew me, like really knew me, like personally.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Man.
If we really knew you.
Oh man. So many good stuff. No, well, I'm the queen of unhealthy snacks. Okay? So not all yoga teachers are healthy, let me tell you that. I love Pop-Tarts and I eat like half a jar of Nutella, like daily. But if you know me, you know that I don't know. I think a lot of my friends, like on a real vulnerable, like friend level, check in on me because I know I give a lot and I don't ask for it back. What I appreciate about my friends is I don't have to ask for it back. Like I get it, I have friends checking in on me. I'm guilty about that. That's something that I know about myself now. I'm paying more attention to. I'm being more aware of that.
Is that just asking for help or is that just?
Not necessarily asking for help, because if I needed help, I would ask.
Yeah.
But I think like people in the helping field, and I'm speaking more directly to social work and to the environments of mental health, right? Give so much to others, give, and aren't checking in with themselves as much.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a thing that's important to me, and my like close knit friends know they check in.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really cool.
Yeah, that can be a draining process when you're.
Yeah, if you don't ground yourself.
You're giving so much, and people are emptying out into you, and then you don't. Sometimes you forget to think about yourself and tuning into that.
It's very rewarding and it's draining, and it's more recently that I'm being careful about taking more time for myself, and it's been a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. What do you know about me?
I know you're an awesome instructor. You're so much fun to interview. I'm just happy that you're opening up to this. I mean, this is gold.
God, oh my gosh. Yeah, people know me. I'm weird. I'm really dark.
Shit.
I'm like dark and twisted. Like I love like Marilyn Manson's my favorite artist.
Oh.
I am exude this light from a really dark space, and there's so much balance in that. But I'm weird. Like my husband tells me I'm weird all the time. I just do quirky things, I think, and from an authentic space, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think I've kind of just accepted my weirdness stuff to people. Some people don't even like really understand my jokes sometimes, or I'm really fun with wordplay. I mean, I just roam around. I mean,
I like that.
I love things like that. I mean, I'm in the process of switching all my watches to Roman numerals just because I love my name so much.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is
I carry
awesome.
a lot with my name Roman.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You know that my name is not Kris Brooks. That's something that a lot of people don't know.
Oh, I mean, I don't even think I knew that.
See? I mean, it is my name. It is my name, but I now have a new name because I got married.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm so attached to my name, Kris Brooks. I need to work on that. My husband's last name and my new last name is Lesneski.
Lesneski.
You said it right.
Oh, only because you said it first.
Oh, okay.
If I saw it on paper,
If I showed it to you?
it would not have gone down like that.
So I did change my name legally to Kris Brooks Lesneski. So my middle name is now Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah. That's something only people close to me.
Lesneski.
I changed my name.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't.
I'm proud to have my husband's name, and also I'm very attached to mine
Yeah.
at the
It's,
same time.
yeah. Because even before this interview, I was like, what was it, KrisBrooksYoga.com?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the brand though. That's like
It's
the
still
company I created.
Yeah,
That's
still your
Kris
brand.
Brooks Yoga was my business and my LLC and my brand in general. I'm not gonna change that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's the brand.
I just happened to use my name and like paid for the website and all that and the email now it's like it'd be so much work to backtrack and change all that. So I'm just gonna keep it.
And I can't even. I mean, I haven't seen it on paper, but trying to type in Lesneski,
yeah, it's
that might be a little difficult.
It's a difficult name.
What is one habit that you do that you would recommend to others to get more out of their day, their weeks, their lives, anything like that?
Journaling. Okay. Journaling has been in my life for as far as I can remember, like middle school. Journaling helps, especially people that are seeking to get more out of their life, and they're maybe in that space that we were in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're flirting with that edge of vulnerability, and they're unsure how to become a vulnerable person or how to release that emotion. Right.
Yeah.
Like just write. Write. Because looking at my old journals, I was vulnerable with that paper. I was bold and open with that paper because I didn't have any other release of it. But eventually that led to my teaching, right? So now I'd be vulnerable in my classes and share what's up in my life and my classes to work through it through my teaching instead of having to write. So journaling is huge. Also meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation. And you do not have to sit crisscross applesauce with mudras on your hands. I like to lay in my hammock and look at the clouds. I like to lay in my hammock and look at the leaves blowing. I love to take bubble baths. That's like my thing. Yep. Bubble baths with Epsom salt and oils and candles and all that. And then I like just kind of take deep breaths in and float up and then sink down. That's meditation.
Yeah.
Anything that allows you to just get still for a bit.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, there's no wrong way of doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No wrong way.
I can't even meditate sitting up. I'm a laying down kind of guy.
Lay down. I fall asleep if I lay down.
Yeah.
So I can't lay down.
I fell asleep in my meditation too.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you fall asleep, whatever, that's a good meditation, cool.
Yeah.
But for folks that work work a job where they go into work in the morning and they don't get home till the evening and they're go, and when they get home they're devoting time to their families or maybe to the gym and they feel they don't have time to meditate, drive to work with the radio off and be present to every bit of your environment, all of it, because it's what I learned moving to Germany. I am so present there because I'm not go. Like there's stuff that we could probably walk by today that's been there forever and be like, wow, I didn't know that building was purple. It's like, how did you not know that? Why? Because you're not being present.
I didn't know that Mona Lisa was holding a butcher bag.
See?
And I drive past that place all the time.
See the Mona Lisa portrait, and I'm aware of it just because I like it, but now you know, right? And so driving to work with the radio off is a good suggestion for meditation. Just be present.
Just be present.
That's it. No cell phone, no Instagram, no listening to the podcast and looking at the video while you're driving, Put the phone away, be safe, and just drive.
Yeah. You only need, you can literally meditate in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be this long. Sometimes I like it long.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but I'll do a 10-minute one. I did a 10-minute one this morning.
5 or 10 is solid for me.
Yeah.
As a daily practice.
Yeah.
5 or 10 is good.
Yeah. So I always ask this question at the end because I feel like I can always take a page out of someone else's book and learn something from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to take a page out of your personal story or your book and give it to the world, what would that one page say?
Don't give up on yourself.
Don't give up on yourself.
Believe in yourself. Yeah. See the bigger picture for yourself. Manifest the bigger picture for yourself.
The vision. Have that vision.
Have the vision. Have the vision. Having a vision for your life is so important. And I'm in specific details. Like to the taste. Manifesting that. And manifesting your own destiny is the page of my book.
Yeah.
You can create the life that you deserve to live.
Yep.
You deserve
Don't take a passenger seat to your life.
Exactly. And don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted. Be grateful for every moment. Gratitude. Live in gratitude.
Gotta love it. I love it, Kris. So where can people find you? I guess I should ask this, and I don't know whether to ask this for the German listeners or for the Charlotte listeners. But where can people find you in the community, working out, hanging out, things like that?
So when I'm home, you can find me at Yoga One.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. Practicing. And I love, let's see, yoga. Yoga One. That's where I'd be here.
Yeah.
And in Germany, you guys would just have to come visit.
Yeah.
I have an open door policy, is what I tell everyone. Like if you're coming to Germany, let me know because we have plenty of room, or like plenty of guest rooms in our house. Come and stay. And if I'm not there, I don't care. House is yours. Like you have a free place to stay in Germany. If you guys want to come and connect, please connect. I have an online. I am a part of the online platform at Yoga One. So whywhatnow.com has information on that. So I have a channel on the online yoga where I teach or do talks or meditations or pose breakdowns.
Wow. And that's just on our website?
The information to the Yoga One online is on the website. Okay. So it's yogaoneonline.com. But there's more details on whywhatnow.com. And then Instagram, I'm very active on Instagram. It's a big source of connection for me for back home. And that's just Kris Brooks on Instagram.
Awesome. And do you have any last words for the listeners?
Well, thank you for listening. I ramble a lot. I get excited. Yeah. So,
all good here.
Take what you want and leave the rest behind. And just thanks for listening and thank you for doing this with me. Oh. What a special treat.
Yeah. I'm
really grateful for it.
I'm glad we got to make this happen when since you were in town for a little short stunt time. So yeah, thank you.
When is this gonna go on, like, active? Just have one more thing.
I
You don't know. Did I stump you? I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
We created a timeless podcast here, so I can release it whenever. But
so
go ahead and say what you want to say, and
okay.
I'll work around it.
Okay. So the reason I'm here is because I'm teaching and speaking at a mental health festival in LaGrange, Georgia.
Okay.
Hope Givers Festival. If it's passed or people were unable to make it, I encourage everyone to look into Hope Givers and their mission and their story. So this festival is really important because, or like a big deal. We have Jonah and the Lion. We have like all these musical acts coming and all these amazing motivational speakers that I'm so excited to learn from. TED Talks people, and all this. But the cool thing is 100% of the proceeds is going to suicide prevention. And there's different educational people from the state of Georgia that are incorporating mental health awareness into their curriculum. Okay. So it's like kind of a really cool deal. But if anyone ever has any questions about anything, that
and what are the dates that you're doing?
That's May 11th.
May 11th.
So it's Saturday.
Might not release before that.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I will.
But
I will release this in May because it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Nice.
And so I promise you I will release it before May is over.
That works. But it's still something to look at.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll share that for sure. But Kris, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
You're awesome, man. Grateful for